Adam Babams to his friends. First, I'd like to congratulate him on an absolutely brilliant speech. Absolutely amazing. I knew it would be hard to follow you, but frankly, I didn't understand what you were talking about. It was great. I've only been given one bit of advice about giving a best man speech, and it was take as long as it takes the groom to make love. I've already gone on too long, but ladies and gentlemen. On a serious note. It's a great honour, and Adam's got a lot of very good friends, and I feel particularly honoured to be standing up here today. Frankly, like all best men, I'm a little bit nervous, but I was very, very lucky, and I had a chance to practice my speech. Some of you will know Onga's Old People's Home. They are an amazing audience for trying out any sort of stuff. Quite well, so they all piss themselves. More serious though, I'd like to echo what Adam's already said and just say thank you so much to the bridesmaids. They looked amazing and they did an absolutely brilliant job. I'm sure you'll all agree. The only thing that eclipsed them was, of course, the gorgeous Chelsey herself, who looked beautiful. I can't think of a better dress. It's just brilliant. Adam, you must be very, very proud.
You are.
Adam's also asked me to say thank you for all the presents and cards and all the gifts that you've given to them as the newlyweds. I know myself, I really struggled with working out what to get. Particularly Adam, I wanted to get something that you really needed. And it is tough, but I really couldn't work out how to wrap a bath, so I'm afraid you put some plates. Before I begin the formal sort of traditional character assassination of Adam, I thought it was sensible to speak to Chelsey about my do's and don'ts and what I can say and what I can't say. Unfortunately, I didn't really think about this until earlier today. So she said, "Don't mention her ex-girlfriend, his ex-girlfriends. Don't swear. Don't say risque jokes. Don't tell lies. Mostly say positive stories." At this point, I'd normally sort of probably start to say something about how amazing the stag do was, and to go down that sort of side of things. But the international laws of stag parties and what stays on tour goes on tour. So I can't really say anything to do with that. Particularly as Adam's solicitors advised caution, as there's still legal proceedings in several countries against him, and the embassy in Morocco still have some small fragments of a gnome, which, if anyone else has anything else today, I think you may still have a few pieces they need to give back. It's a matter of urgency. As many of you may know, Adam, myself, all the groomsmen, we've gone on a number of trips all over the place, and we really sort of enjoy a few trips, a few foreign travels. We've been to the UK, France, the Alps, Spain, Latvia, Canada, all over the place. And we always try to get a good mix between culture and adventure that really sort of capitalises sort of our little group. And well, come to think about it, I'm not sure why we do that. I'm not sure why it comes, because he hates culture and adventure. We're in this beautiful, beautiful Latvian gorge, and the sun's starting to set, perfectly green river running underneath, and we all think there's nothing better to do than a bungee jump at this stage, like everyone does. So we all get in the cable car and everyone jumps apart from Adam because it might hurt his belly. Come to think of it, he hates culture and adventure so much that his only two requests for the stag party was, "I don't want to go to Eastern Europe, because," and I quote, "we'll have to see old buildings and stuff." No bungee jumping, but reluctantly we all sat together and we sort of agreed and thought, okay, fine, these are only two rules, there's a lot of other rules that we can sort of make up ourselves. So we tried to find the most culturally diverse and adventurous place that we could, that EasyJet would fly to. So we settled on Africa, and more specifically Marrakesh and Essaouira, which is beautiful. I'm sure everyone would recommend it. Of course, as Adam alluded to a second ago, that he didn't actually find out about this until probably 20 minutes before we flew. It was 5 o'clock in the morning at this point, and he'd been running up and down the airport all night. Strange American girls met him, moved him from one place to another, left him a beer while we were all getting drunk in the bar. It was brilliant. But he managed to spend 4 days in the fancy dress that we set up for him, and one of the best was this white jalab. It's basically what they wear just before they're about to get married out in sort of a Muslim country. Subsequently, he was a huge hit with absolutely everyone he saw. Whether he was surfing, paddleboarding, being sick on himself, all this sort of stuff. He could get very, very immersed in the culture, which I was certainly surprised at, and I know guys were, and everyone. And there was one moment that he got so immersed in the culture, he actually got shut into a perfume shop with 5 Muslim women and 2 children. They just wanted to take photos continuously. And the haggling as well was absolutely amazing. I mean, watching Adam haggle in the bazaars of Marrakesh, it was like watching Michelangelo paint the roof of the Sistine Chapel. It was just amazing. So, no, I'm not paying that. Okay. And then there was one point though, we got a little bit too immersed in the culture, and that's probably our combined fault. But thinking, it's going pretty well, good stag party, and we thought, what better to do than go for a nice relaxing massage, these amazing places, and we thought, we'll put together the money and we'll just book it, won't tell Adam, it'd be great. So an hour later, we find ourselves. It's still a bit of a painful memory. But it's a very, very weird place. Either being rubbed down by an 80-year-old very, very skinny man or a 30-year-old gay fat man. It can only be described as rubbing off green mud with some sort of chisel or a grinder in probably, I don't know how the best way to describe it, it's probably an Eastern European jail shower room. It was weird. Needless to say, it's the cleanest Adam's ever been, and he's actually booked up to go again next week. Maybe never again. Now, I know a few of you have worked with Adam, Brian, Dave, probably a few others. So I asked a little bit earlier, what they thought of Adam, what does he like to work with? And Adam, actually, you'd be very pleased to know they all refer to you as godlike. Some even said a bit like the Messiah, which, when I asked them to qualify this and what they actually meant, they say they hardly ever see you, you make up your own rules, when you do any work, it's a bloody miracle. In all seriousness, Adam is one of the hardest working people I know, and I'm sure in the future it's going to bring him and Chelsey loads of prosperity, because a work ethic that is unrivaled by anyone I know. It's absolutely brilliant. Now, last night, I sat down with Adam and the guys, and we had a small bottle of cognac to ourselves, just chatting about various things, the wedding, Chelsey, how lucky Adam is. And I asked him what he's really looking for, what does he want to achieve, what does he want to be, being married. And he said to me a couple of things. He said, first, I'd like to be a model husband, which I thought was a beautiful thing to start with, and a model citizen, very, very noble. And then under his breath, he chuckled a little bit and said, I'd also like to be a model lover. Now, being a naive chap that I am, I wasn't quite sure what he meant. So I went to the Oxford English Dictionary, the Old Faithful, and looked up model. And it said, a small miniature replica of the real thing. Now, as Brian did, it's customary for me to try to give a bit of advice as well to the newlyweds. And not being married myself, I went out in search of some happy married couples, but unfortunately I couldn't find any. So I decided to make up a few things myself. Now, I was looking for the magic 3 bits of advice that I could give you, but I couldn't think of 3. I came up with 4, because I couldn't really get rid of one. So these are quite serious bits of advice. Never go to bed in arguments. Always stay up and argue. Always remember the 3 little words. You're right, dear. And the best way to remember an anniversary is to forget it once. Lastly, and probably most importantly, it's fundamental to get on with your mother-in-law. Now, as she's here, I've got some friends that haven't spoken to their mother-in-law for 2 or 3 years, and it's not that they don't like her, it's just that they've never got a word in edgeways. So always make sure you do that. But I know you're going to do those all with a breeze, because you guys are clearly made for each other. You have been for years, and frankly, I'm sure everyone in this room has wondered why it's taken you this long to actually get married. So, ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure to be the second person to ask you all to stand up, raise your glasses, and wish Adam and Chelsey a happy marriage. Mr. and Mrs. Babs, Adam and Chelsey.
Adam and Chelsey.